injured here. 3v3 Boranis Refinery, blue team. First up is handsome S0dding BLeeD as a Chaos Lord, durable and destructive melee commander that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good offense and disruption. Alongside, SuperHooper is a plague champion, starts off range combat with a damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, good versatility, can also build turrets and repair, but is very slow. And rounding off this all Chaos Space Marine team is Kvek as a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and destructive commander, fights in melee combat by default and has a bunch of spells to ruin your day. Red team, first up, TrueExample is a Techmarine, starts off range combat, good DPS, good utility as well, can build structures and repair. Alongside, Shas'El Doran'ro is an Apothecary, support commander that fights in melee combat by default, starts off with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. And rounding off the red team is Spearhead as a Grey Knight Brother Captain, durable melee commander that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed, very good offense and supports. So it's Chaos Lord versus the Brother Captain on the west side. Two heavyweights there. The central players are Plague Champion and Apothecary, and we have Chaos Sorcerer versus the Techmarine on the east. Yep, it's behind this heavy cover. Chaos Space Marine is getting some Zinc worship. We have double Heretics from Kvek and double Chaos Space Marines from SuperHooper. Handsome with just a single Chaos Space Marine squad. He's bought a bunch of generators, I think. Looks like some lag. 485, 500. There's the 1-to-1 cap. You see the damage over time. Nurgle stink on these tactical marines there. Stormtroopers weighing in with some lasgun fire, and strike squad are there as well. Very versatile heavy infantry unit. Should be coming in for some melee combat, I think. Nurgle worship there. Chaos Space Marines and Plague Champion behind heavy cover with Nurgle worship. Can be very difficult to deal with. Apothecary around here, ready to heal these Stormtroopers, is he? Chaos Lord trying to get some models off them, and Heretics forced off by the Brother Captain. Tactical Marines go down, losing a model to the Chaos Space Marines. Losing one model, not going down completely there. 485, 480. Look how much experience that gave those Chaos Space Marines. Apothecary in trouble. Looks like he's retreated in time, or has he? He's being shot up in retreat, and he doesn't retreat in time. The Plague Champion's bolter is really good at taking down commanders in retreat with that damage over time. Constantly reapplying itself. 485, 467 is a 2-to-1 cap for the Chaos team early on. Bit of a stalemate on the east side. Some Nurgle worship and power harass here. These Chaos Space Marines smacking on the node in melee combat because they were really pissed off or something. Scouts trying to harass with their bolters, and they're going to get smacked in the face themselves. 485, 454. Here come Tactical Marines and Assault Marines on the field now for Shas'El, so he has a lot more staying power. Kraken bolts from those Tactical Marines. Can they get a model of these Chaos Space Marines? Looks like they can't. Retreating units taking 75% less damage from ranged weapons. Whoa, Interceptors getting very low on hit points, lost the model, very lucky not to lose two. Assault Marines jumping in, disrupting those Chaos Space Marines, and then they can fight in melee with those chainswords and bolt pistols. 485, 436. Brother Captain already has his Mantle of Terror. It's actually really good versus Chaos because you can really mess with Heretics. It stops them from worshipping, stops them from doom blasting, and actually stops them from stopping worship as well. So if you use that Canticle of Absolution, you can catch a squad worshipping, use it, and then just wipe them out because they can't leave. 485, 424. Scout squad with their sergeant and shotguns for Shas'El. Apothecary heals himself. Brother Captain going toe to toe with the Chaos Lord who has the Dark Halo up. 481, 424. Let's look at the east side. Someone's died. It's the Chaos Sorcerer, and a turret is going up from TrueExample. 475, 424. Raptors on the field. Who is this? This is handsome S0dding BLeeD. They're quite low on hit points though. Big engagement here. Chaos Space Marine is just about getting away. Two models down to one model now. Interceptors teleporting after them. Can they finish them off? Now Assault Marine is trying to do so. Lots of bolt pistol shots going in, but it's not going to be enough. Interceptors doing very nice DPS, more than Assault Marines, I think more in line with Raptors. 457, 424. They are expensive though, 500 rec and 50 power to get these guys on the field. Their jump also doesn't disrupt or suppress like Raptors and Assault Marines, but it is instantaneous of course because it's a teleport. 445, 424. And Kvek needs to try and flank this turret, or does he? Because SuperHooper is here to support. Can easily flank the turret and take it down, and that's a big waste there from TrueExample. 429, 424, loses a tactical marine as well. Wow, was lucky not to lose the squad there, down to 40 hit points, even less than that. 412, 424, red have a triple, but I don't think it's going to last for long. Chaos Space Marines behind this light cover here. Chaos Lord breaking stuff, getting in amongst. Stormtroopers losing models. Interceptors teleporting in, but up against Aspiring Champion Heretics and Chaos Space Marines. There's the Canticle. So these guys can't use their Doom Blast anymore and they just retreat out of there. Now it's a melee fight. Also increases energy regeneration, the Canticle, which is why he's using it near these interceptors, and they're going to wipe out these Chaos Space Marines. Are they? No, they're not. The brother captain seemed to block off his own squad there from chasing, and those guys did not lose a model. 400 hit points per man, like the Assault Marines are, and Plague Marines on the field for SuperHooper in Tier 2. A Frantic Tier 1. Into Tier 2 now we have Havocs for Kvek with double Zinch Worship, so everything is infiltrated there, including both of the Heretic squads themselves. 313, 425, 424 I should say. Double cap for red. There's a grenade on those Chaos Space Marines, but they spot it and move off. They still want to decap this node though. Assault Marines jump him. What does he have for his Heretics? Has an Aspiring Champion squad. He has 2 Aspiring Champion squads. Scouts don't have shotguns either. He doesn't have a lot of ways to deal with melee in fact. So just rush him. And in fact he does. And TrueExample runs away. Blue take mid from the Plague Champion. Has Armor of Pestilence up, so he might see the Plague Fist and Icon of Nurgle. 296, 416. These guys are not decapping. Eternal War is up on them though. Eternal War up on these guys too. Plague Marines going top as well, and the Plague Champion holding up mid behind that heavy cover. Has a decent amount of hit points for a ranged commander. Starts off with 680. The Techmarine, I think 630 starts with. 296, 403, and there is that Plague Fist. 72 DPS heavy melee with the awesome Pestilence Strike as well. 296, 395, there's a grenade. But the Scouts losing a model there. 296, 387, there's the double cap for the Chaos team. Havocs are up. TrueExample does have Assault Marines and now has a Dreadnought on the way. There is the Warp Rift from Shadow of the Rift, trying to disrupt the positioning of those Tactical Marines, but doesn't quite pay off. Here is that Plague Marine squad then. Have a snaring missile launcher and damage over time bolters, much like the Plague Champions bolters. They also are not affected by suppression in terms of their fire rate. They are still slowed down, but they will reload at the normal rate, much like the Plague Champion does with his bolter, and I assume his Vile Spirit as well. Apothecary has his Mastercrafted bolter up, and a Dreadnought for him has the assault cannons. We have 2 Dreadnoughts on the field, and only Plague Marines really which can deal with them. The Plague Champion does have a heavy melee weapon, but he can't really go toe to toe with the Walker. 296, 316 can support with some damage, and this is a big engagement here. Plague Champion runs away, might go down in retreat. There's a barrage. Nicely done. Plague Champion is chased down and taken down by the brother captain. Plague Marines getting some missile shots in and then retreat. 296, 306. SuperHooper caught off guard there by a huge offense by a red. Interceptors lost a bunch of hit points somewhere. Do have their Justicar though, who makes them a lot better. Gives them furious intervention, so their teleport will now disrupt, and Purifiers on the field. Dedicated melee squad with power melee weapons and a heavy melee demon hammer. These guys are incredibly fearsome, especially if you support them with Brother Captain or Librarian buffs. They do have an allied Apothecary to heal them as well. 291306, a power harass from Handsome, who has some Mark of Khorne Chaos Space Marines on the field with Aspiring Champion. Raptors also with their Claw have some cool melee squads on the field. It'd be nice to see them go toe to toe. 281306, what's he done with his Strike squad? They have their Justicar, so they now have Purification and Energy Burst. Raptors are not going to be caught in retreat because these guys are going to decap instead. Big melee force that the Spearhead Brother Captain players building up here. Should get the Nemesis staff, but just as I say that, it goes for the hammer. 266306. That's the armor of the Apothecarian for the Apothecary. Now of course gives him +1 speed when out of combat, which is very interesting. 260306 Chaos Lord tanking tons of damage and gets away. No sign of a plasma gun for the Tactical Marines. 259306. We have a Melter Gun Techmarine. That thing does 100 damage per shot of melter damage. And a Markozine Dreadnought putting pressure on this Dreadnought. That is some awesome anti-vehicle from long range. Can they finish this thing off? Surely they can. One more burst from that missile launcher, there it goes. And down goes the Dreadnought. Should have kept that thing moving. TrueExample WTFing. Could he not move it or something? Said he couldn't move it. That demonic summoning used there by Kvek. Here comes Shas'El with a flank. Chaos Space Marines in retreat. 243306 Kvek gets his Chaos Dreadnought back to base using the global warp that the Chaos Sorcerer has. 237306. Lots of death here. Raptors getting out of there. And there's no way Raptors and even Mark of Khorne Chaos Space Marines are going to be able to stand against the Purifiers if they're supported. Interceptors losing 2 models though, including their Justicar. Purifiers back at base. Maybe they can stand against them, especially since he's lost most of the rest of his army. Chaos Lord has Lightning Claws as well, and all alone he is pretty damn scary now with Harness of Rage and the Dark Halo. Spearhead having a torrid time last couple of engagements, looks like. Touch of Nurgle on his heretics. Exploding on death. Knocking back, healing and damaging. 236289 as a 2-to-1 for the Chaos team. No mark on SuperHooper's Chaos Space Marines. And we have Marko Zinch for Kvek. There's mark target, and that was orbs, I think. Yes, and it did get the Dreadnought there. That's a hard stun, and this will drains energy from infantry as well. 236280. Tactical Marines with that missile launcher trying to finish off the Dreadnought, but couldn't quite do it. Scout struck a grenade and run away, and now that thing needs repairs badly. Heretics getting to work there. Chaos Lord killing stuff. Seems like he alone is putting a lot of pressure on this melee force of Spearhead. He is level 4, doing well. Brother Captain, level 6, doing even better. Has the Purified Blades. Might take down a Chaos Lord here if he can chase. Mantle of Terror and that Demon Hammer. 236280. Mark of Khorne CSM here, they come alongside those Raptors. Demon Hammer, a good choice versus that little melee blob. Would have preferred to see the staff to support though. But he's doing okay so far. 236280. Dreadnought with the assault cannon still stomping around mid for Shas'El. It's level 2 and tier 3 for Spearhead, and he has a lot of red, so we might see a Land Raider Crusader later on. Nurgle worship from SuperHooper, Plague Marines and Chaos Space Marines getting shots off, but there's a barrage, and that is nasty. Assault Marines jumping in as well. 221, 280. Have their Sergeant who gives them a Power Sword model and Merciless Strike. There it is. Merciless Strike is such an awesome ability. 211, 280. There's a triple cap though for Red Team. That was Aura of Decay from Armor of Pestilence. Assault Marines leveling. What do they level to? Level 3. Plague Champion made the mistake of using Aura of Decay and then using his fist, so he didn't stun those Assault Marines as much as he would have liked. 178, 280, still the triple cap for red. SuperHooper forced off the mid. Shas'El doing very well to hold there. 168, 280. Still really frantic engagements on this east side versus TrueExample and Kvek. Chaos Lord is now level 5. Brother Captain, what is he doing? He's down. He's level 6. Level 2 Chaos Sorcerer. So Thermal Subjugation now. Maybe expecting Terminators and the like. Everyone tier 3 or going tier 3. Great Unclean One on the field for SuperHooper. Big fat demon fella. 132, 280. Here come Mark of Cornkill Space Marines. Eating a shotgun blast to the face though. The Raptors have their demon wall. A lot of people think this thing is slightly too expensive for what it gives you. Essentially a 45 DPS power melee weapon. Only 5 DPS more than the thought. And that chance to knock back alongside that demonic fury as well. 132, 280. Kimon going after this Dreadnought now. 129, 280. There is that foul snare, and it's pretty foul. Heretics now going after the scouts. Can they wipe the squad by attacking the scout sergeant? They can. 123, 280. Plague Champion now decapping mid. He's gone for the mucus discharge, as I'm sure you've seen. Not the Icon of Nurgle. Level 5 though. 117, 280. Pestilent Strike, allowing him to tank lots of range damage. Everything's scared of this Great Unclean One. Over 6,000 super heavy infantry armor hit points. 117, 280. Assault Marines jumping in, but it doesn't knock back the Plague Champion because of that armor of pestilence, and they take tons of damage. Not sure what he was trying to do. Must have known that the Plague Champion had armor of pestilence. Might lose the squad 55 hit points. They should be okay. Kvek subjugating purifiers. 117, 269, and takes them into enemy territory. And that is painful. He's going to lose his squad, I think. Yep, hasn't realised that he has control back. Retreats way too late. And there's an orbital. Was that by Spearhead? I guess he's not getting a Land Raider Crusader then. And he only gets the Chaos Sword, so that was a complete waste. Shrine of Nurgle up for SuperHooper. Actually a really good choice in the centre of this map. 117, 249. Looks like Chaos have this in the bag. Spearhead just lost too much stuff there. Those purifiers being subjugated and killed. Has he got anything else? I don't think he ever got anything else apart from his tier 1 stuff. 117, 236. Assault Marines in trouble again. There's a merciless strike though, and they do get away. Mark of Cornkill Space Marines level 4, over 2,100 hit points on these guys now. Interceptors going after them. Looks like they have their Nemesis focus, but not their grenades. Taking down a couple of Chaos Space Marine models, and there's the teleport trying to chase them down. And they've taken another model down, and they're going to decap as well. 117, 204. Red team not quite out of this yet. Spearhead needs to get something on the field. He seems to be waiting for Paladins. There they come. Paladins on the way. 117, 186. The Great Unclean One needs some heals. Would take ages to heal up from worship though. Needs to get him back to base really to heal him up. Chaos Predator on the field. And the Land Red Redeemer on the way for Shas'El. Cyclone Missile Launcher up on the Terminators for TrueExample. 116, 177. It's a 2-ton cap for red. They're holding onto this VP lead. Have Blue's natural. Handsome needs to get it back, and Raptors jumping in to do that. 107, 177. Blue team looking very strong in mid. Have double Great Unclean Ones. These guys passively damaging nearby enemies, so if you can get 2 of them in the same place, that's going to be pretty nasty. Mark of Corn on the way for the Predator, buffing the damage greatly of its side sponsor and bolters. I think it's a 75% damage buff. 102, 177. So it's a very good anti-infantry tank now. Paladins coming out of base, slowly but surely. Heavy melee weapons, very good DPS as well, and they passively buff all nearby allies with more damage and some damage resistance as well. I think it's 10% damage and 5% damage resistance. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's constant buff. They just need to be close by. 102, 165. Red team gearing up for a big assault, but it's going to need to be one hell of an assault. Chaos have a huge army here, double Great Unclean Ones, Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought, which is level 2, a Chaos Predator with a mark, level 4 Chaos Space Marines, Plague Marines, a bunch more Chaos Space Marines with Mark of Tzeentch now for SuperHooper, his Plague Champion, which is level 6, not to mention that Chaos Lord. Where is he? There he is, glitching through stuff. He's level 6 as well. Sorcerer, almost level 3, has the Demon Armor and the Rod of Warp Fire. 102, 143. Looks like going to push alongside this Land Raider Redeemer. That will allow them to reinforce, much like that Noble Shrine is doing for the Chaos players. Furious Intervention initiating this fight. Here come Paladins. A huge engagement because Interceptor's in huge amounts of trouble. Canticle of Absolution is used. 102, 131. Chaos Lord is there and he's doing a lot of damage to his Paladins. He's all kicking off in the middle though. Double Great Unclean Ones. They just got orbed, I think, by the Techmarine, who's level 4, has Signum. 102, 125. Huge engagement in the mid. Those Paladins teleported out, but they're going to go down here. That was a crazy engagement to try and put them in. We have Mark of Tzeentch Shrines firing off Doom Bolts as well. Noise Marines getting their Blastmaster. I think this is all over for Red. Spearhead losing his Paladins, now getting a Grey Knight Dreadnought, but it might be too late. Land Raider now under pressure. There's an Orbital and an Abyss. Crazy ending. Imperial Abyss doing tons of damage in that central area with chains pulling infantry into it. And the Orbital. Look at the range the Orbital has now. Initial mark was over here and a beam landed there. 102, 125. Land Raider does force off the Chaos Lord. This thing with 2 heavy flamers on the side sponsions. Are they called Flamestorm cannons or something? Twin assault cannon and a multi-motor on it as well. Allows you to retreat to it, reinforce and transport. 102, 125. The Grey Knight Dreadnought does hit the field. What's he going to go for on it? He's gone for the plasma cannon. Artillery piece, but it's not a very long range. The Predator, for some reason, showing its rear armor to the center. 102, 125. Center is decapped, so Red Team did manage to decap after all of that. This Grey Knight Dreadnought, what is it trying to do? It's taking damage, move it. There we go. 102, 125. The Shrine goes down. Oh, the Tactical Marine is going to try and cap. No, they aren't. Here comes a Great Unclean One. Not sure where the other big fella is. Where is he? He's in mid. 102, 125. Absolutely crazy engagement at the end of this game. Land Raider Redeemer looks like it's going to go down, being smacked on by the Great Unclean One in the distance there. Raptors jumping in with that wall, suppressing the Assault Marines on their second little leap there. And the Assault Marines in trouble. The Great Unclean One is right there. Raptors jumping after the Plasma Cannon now. And they force it off, taking down 2 models. 102, 125. The Plague Champion now level 8. That Land Raider Redeemer did go down incidentally. And Spearhead has nothing. TrueExample not happy with Subjugate. I think most likely subjugated the Terminators, yep. 102, 125. And teleported them into mid. So now that the teleport is on cooldown. 102, 125. Cyclone Missile Launcher. Look at the damage it did to that Great Unclean One there. 102, 125. Blastmaster is set up. The Predator is now level 2. And Chaos Lord capping mid. Absolutely crazy stuff. It was an awesome push by Red, but they couldn't quite pull it off there. Touch of Nurgle Heretics, level 4. Touch of Nurgle Heretics. Chasing off level 4 Tactical Marines. Everything run away, everything run away. Touch of Nova is so awesome. And they're still going. Apothecary almost level 5. Techmarine's level 5, but he's down in mid. Brother Captain's level 7 and has no units. He's going for another Grey Knight Dreadnought. Chaos Lord level 8. Plague Champion level 8. Chaos Sorcerer level 4 and down, trying to decap. In fact, he capped. No, he didn't. He didn't decap. Got up the Demon armor. The Demon Shield. What is it actually called? Demonic Shield, I think. Great and Clean One. Going after Marines, who use They Shall Know No Fear, trying to tank the Greater Demon. Good luck with that. 102.91. Pulled across by Foul Snare, which stuns as well as does damage. And there's a sink kill from the Great and Clean One, just tossing that Sergeant aside. 3 centuries of battle experience just thrown away there. 102.85. SuperHooper pushing through and bashing power. Blue team powerless, surely. Another Land Raider coming, this time from TrueExample. Grey Knight Dreadnought with Plasma Cannon is isolated. Trying to take on Plague Marines. But hits terrain. 102.82. Predator tank under pressure now. Some more Plague Marines. These are SuperHoopers. Handsome also has some. And red team are absolutely owned here. And he's dropped a Venerable instead. Unique Walker to the Techmarine. 1750 hit points at level 1. Just desperation right now. Look at the damage it's taken from this Marcozine missile launcher. Bang, and that Predator tank as well. And goes down almost immediately. That is Stoicism. Takes down the Great and Clean One, no more. That was awesome from the Venerable. 102.68, and Kvek gets another Great and Clean One on the field soon. Chaos Lord in retreat. What level is he now? He's level 10. 1701 hit points with that Harness of Rage. Alongside that Dark Halo makes him very, very tough. Level 9 Plague Champion. 102.60. Red team holding on here. That Venerable kamikaze run was awesome. Grey Knight Dreadnought backing away, being repaired from the blessing of the Omnicide. That's a global ability of the Techmarine, repairing all vehicles on the field, including this Predator tank. Orbs just about not hitting. Chaos Dreadnought being marked and Plasma Cannon getting shots. 102.41. TrueExample with just Terminators and Scouts now. Spearhead getting some Strike Squad. Down goes the Predator tank and the Grey Knight Dreadnought goes down as well. Demonic Shield used on the Predator tank to help it out there. And there's Tome of Subjugation on the Tactical Marines. 102.25, 2-to-1 cap for the blue team. Look how much resources Handsome has. Land Raider Phobos hits the field. Red team is all over for them. There's the 2-to-1. There's Dark Flames, first one I've seen. Missile launcher hitting these Terminators. And it's going to be all over. It's a 2-to-1 cap. And look at the map, completely blue almost. More shrines going up in the mid. This is a Khorne shrine, spitting out blood letters and buffing damage to the owner of the shrine's units. Imperial Abyss almost wiping out those Terminators and just about survives at the end of the game. 2+ saves, failing there hard. And there it is, absolutely crazy stuff at the end. Was basically a running battle for the last, it felt like 10 minutes or so. Sure, I missed tons of stuff, but I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.